Welcome to the new home of Colorado Construction Institute. Through working with some of our partners, we had the opportunity to move into a much bigger space, providing us the opportunity to increase our programming and improve our programming. We're going to give you a little tour. This is a behind-the-scenes tour. We haven't done our full grand opening yet, so you're going to see a few pieces that are still under construction, but get the feel of what we've got available to us for our programming. So let's start our tour. So when you first come into our new space, you enter into our Denver YouthBuild area. This area has a few of our classrooms, at the same time as having some of our space for our program manager, our engagement coach. So we're lucky enough to have enough space to create a full computer lab. This allows us to have our students have time to work on resumes, work on studying, work on a lot of our stuff through our blended learning environment, where we use our CCI toolkit to provide students an opportunity to review some of the materials, as well as take tests and quizzes all online. So in just a few short months, we'll have 3 different classrooms, a copy room and file room, as well as a teacher's room and area for school administrators to be right in our same building. These classrooms will be renovated from the office space that they are and connected so we can have 3 larger classrooms. The school will ultimately support up to 60 students, with majority of them actually working right into our YouthBuild. So it'll be half a day in academic achievement and another half a day learning job training, construction skills, or some of them in our discovery pathway. So right now we're in the YouthBuild student space. An important thing to mention is that the building we're in is ultimately going to be taken down in about 2 to 3 years and turned into affordable housing. So we have the opportunity of occupying the space right now, but doing with it whatever we want to. So right now we've taken this room and turned it into a YouthBuild lunchroom. But as we do our programming, it allows us to teach students how to do construction and actually do it in our space. So in just a couple of days, our YouthBuild students will be taking this wall down, they'll be doing the demo, hanging drywall, finishing it out, repainting it as part of their lessons. That thus will allow us to open up that space into the rest of the classrooms, making it more inviting as opposed to just some interior room that we're using as a lunchroom. So connected to the YouthBuild student space is the YouthBuild classroom. So right behind me is where we ultimately have all of our classrooms to learn theory, and connected to that is the YouthBuild warehouse space, where it's our shop space. So we're going to go into the construction lab space for YouthBuild. It's spring break right now, so we have a very few amount of students here. It may be hard for us to hear if they're making a bunch of noise. One of the best things we have about our construction lab is the fact that we can make as much noise as we want. We're in a warehouse. So now we're in our YouthBuild Construction Lab space. So a typical build is somebody would introduce a concept in the classroom, one of our instructors. We come out here, we do it as a team, and then behind me you see a bunch of these booths. That's where each student works as teams and build a 4x4 structure that has every element of a residential construction home. So it looks today like they're actually starting a brand new booth. But what they're doing over there is leveling a floor, which would be the first phase of building the booths that are directly behind them. So connected to our YouthBuild build area, we have our adult build area. The space is big enough to give us a full separation, both from classrooms and construction space. The biggest advantage of having a warehouse this large is it allows us to have plenty of space to set up for build projects, the core of all the training that we do. So behind me we have areas where we have material storage. We've got cinder blocks over in the corner that we use specifically for lift and carry exercises. We've got behind me, I believe it's just a bunch of nailing blocks. Every class starts with how are you properly using a tool and how are you doing that effectively over and over and over again. Over to my right, you can see an area that we have just set up a mock wall. This was an opportunity with one of our last classes to do a framing exercise. They had to sheathe that wall. They had to make an opening for a door. And behind us over here is the adult classroom. Again, giving us a separation from our youth programming and adult programming. This area we use for our adult construction boot camps. Just as in our YouthBuild programming, you have to have some lecture, some time where you're introducing concepts before you go into the lab and build them. This is where we do it for our adult programming. To provide a little bit of a wider shot, if you remember, our YouthBuild programming is over there and at the outside in our shop space. Over here is our adult construction space, and between those two is what space that we use for a lot of community build projects. We had a tiny home that we constructed right in this space and it was moved out last week. We're going to start another one in about another 2 weeks. That'll be done right in this space. In addition to all of this indoor space that is climate controlled, we also have a large amount of space outdoors, and we're very excited about some new partnerships with local highway construction companies where they're going to provide us some heavy equipment. We're going to do concrete lessons and asphalt lessons. We're going to do that right outside. Thank you for taking this short video tour with us today. If you're in the Denver area, please come by personally and take a look at what we're doing. If you're not, please follow the rest of our videos that you see online. Also, check back online in another few months where we're going to do a full video about the space and in its completed stage. All the space that you have just seen has really been made possible through a strong partnership we have with the Urban Land Conservancy. I want to personally thank them for working with us and allowing us this temporary use arrangement in this space.